keep it live, yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Cause you know we keep it live. You know we keep it live. Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. You know we keep it like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. You know we keep it live. Like, share, subscribe. Cause you know we keep it live, yeah. Like, share, subscribe. Cause you know we keep it live. You know we keep it live. Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. You know we keep it like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live. You know we keep it live.
What's going on, family? Thank you for tuning in to today's live. You're locked in with the Coach Smook Network, and I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality. Before we get rolling, do me a quick favor. Tap that like button, share the stream out, and if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss any of the action. Now listen, if you really rock with what we're building here, I invite you to take the opportunity to support the channel by becoming a member of the AAA family. Our mantra is authenticity above all. Everything we do, our content and our community, is built on creating and enjoying quality, authentic conversations, real insight, and real information surrounding sports entertainment. Your membership directly assists in the growth of the Coach Smook Network, and every hard-earned dollar you contribute is not only appreciated, it's paid forward. We proudly make monthly contributions to various community health and awareness organizations because impact matters. If you want to get even more involved with the community, be sure to join our Discord. You can type the command right now in the live chat or head over to our main YouTube page and click the Linktree link in the description. And for those who want to support the network directly, you can donate through multiple options: Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Every bit of support helps us continue to grow and elevate this platform. Thank you all for the love and the support and the energy you bring every single time. Now buckle up because it's time to get into the show. Somebody type it in the chat. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's get it.
Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you'll fail with the fan. They tried to box me in and I kicked the dough off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, Coach Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, coach, that's what they saying.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. Them boys over there, look at Deontay. Put me in the game, coach.
walking out of Walmart. Check, what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast.
What's up, bro?
Reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Appreciate that, bro. Roll Tide, man.
Yes, sir. Come on, y'all. Give it up for yourselves. Welcome in tonight to the Coach Smook Network. Get a chat with Coach Smook tonight, man. We got a little vibe tonight. We got a little bit of vibe tonight. Nothing crazy. We're not doing no call-in show. I just want to bring up some topics. We're trying a new content shift. We're going to do this live, but the plan is to do this live and then edit it up real quick and then post these. So today is Tuesday. This is our first time of our new segmented chatting with Coach Smook. Topic of conversation tonight, man. College football. There are some talks. You got the people that make the rules, that make the moves, that sign the paperwork, that really don't have nothing that they do to directly impact the game other than make decisions that pad their pockets, right? They got some quality stuff happen. That with all of the rule changes, with the roster changes, the total amount of roster scholarship players you can have on roster, the total amount of players you can have available, the 40, 60, 80 rule, the credits, all of that, the academic progress, all of these things are being looked at as we speak. And I want to bring this up. You don't have to put that up, Mary J. You don't have to put that up. I want to bring this up because, one, there's so many legal challenges that programs and universities are starting to experience. Now you're cutting into the actual thing that you were supposed to be using to your advantage, which is NIL, right? So this conversation is happening. You got a lot of athletic directors, you got a lot of program general managers, you got NFL executives coming in and weighing in on the NCAA's process and how things are done without there being a collective bargaining agreement and all of these things. So you can't have a players association for the collegiate levels because these are technically not employees, right? But now you're paying them, so we have to kind of shape this thing. If we're going to advance this thing, you can't hold on to a structure that really kept them from being privy to what they deserve and then try to still mask it like you can limit on what they are able to take from what they deserve. So we're going to have that conversation a little bit tonight, just kind of talking about some of the changes over the past year coming into 2026, 2025 changes, some of the motions that were put on the table. And it's looking like the first thing that's being attacked right now is the 5th and 6th year waiver. Now, in collegiate football, there were a total of 247 players at the D1 level that were playing in their 8th year of college football on a roster for the 8th year. Now, the amount of impact they made, not very many of them played at levels on teams that competed in the collegiate college football playoff. But what you did see is that these players were taking up the biggest or largest amount of NIL that some of these programs were granting them, right? Preaching that value of being able to not have to transition to the league so quickly. You got guys kind of abusing the system. And we kind of talked about this when we were on with Jeffrey and Boss, someone who's 26. And what's crazy is the age that they're talking about. If you're going into the year where you're turning 27, right, and you've already did your master's and you've got your 4-year degree and you've went and got your post-grad, whatever that is, you're not able to re-enroll to play collegiate athletics. You got to pay for it out of your pocket, right? So any endorsements and things that you gain from that won't be facilitated through. And this is why I think, and we'll kind of start breaking the conversation down. I'm just want to have a conversation with y'all tonight. This is why I think that representation, school representation, not just allowing outside agents and things of that nature. This is why I think schools are going to start bringing on personnel that do kind of the things like I did this past spring or this past transfer portal period. Just advisory, strategic placement and advancement advisors. People that can look at your situation, your career progression. They can evaluate your skill set. They can look at what you've been able to do over time, monitor your growth, and find you those positions or those spots, those programs that can best benefit you and that program and our program. There were a few portal situations this past window that were win-win-win situations for a player and both organizations involved. So we'll dive into that conversation here in a little bit. But that's one of the main things, that age limit. They are really looking at the fact that you have a roster. Sometimes you can get on the field and there's a roster where your average age is 19, and then you look at another roster, your average age is 23. There's a big difference as far as mentality, physical development, and everything. It's like a lot of teams like Alabama, like Georgia, they're having to go out and get their 18, 19, Alabama most recently, 17-year-old Ryan Williams. Austin Mack was an early enrollee at 17 at Washington, right? So you're seeing the younger generation that are eligible to graduate a year early. They're getting into school early. And you're seeing these guys be put into these situations where at the collegiate level, we're all in a transition phase of development to become professionals. That's what it used to be. Now you're a junior professional. The high school level now is the transition phase into becoming professionals. The way that this thing is being shaped up, the thing about around college football, the reason why I truly believe that we are in this new era is because nobody wants to be accountable for the amount of money that's being passed around in collegiate athletics. And I think that the athletes have caught wind of that, and they're using it to advantage. The agents that are coming in that aren't making it at the professional level, they're coming into the college ranks now. They're catching wind of it, and the universities have already had. So it's all about everybody taking down these walls of secrecy, one, and then two, just kind of make business what it is. And if that's what we're going to do, let's put some parameters around it so that the game could continue to have its integrity. And then another hot topic, breaking news, not necessarily breaking news. Y'all remember, shout out to Alabama for signing the new 3-star athlete. I think he's going to come to Alabama and play receiver. If I had it my way, I put him in that wide receiver room. Keon Sabb's little brother, Amari Sabb. If y'all haven't been following our recruiting coverage, we've done a few takes on him. We did a lot of takes on him coming into last season's or this last recruiting class. Just talking about the track speed. He's a track athlete. The young man has really grown his stock as a wide receiver. Alabama made an offer when Coach Shep was there. The possibilities have always been there. I think Florida State was one of the teams that was really on him heavy and kind of had his attention. But you look at what the opportunities he might have. If he comes, I think he comes and plays wide receiver. I don't think Alabama's looking for him to play DB. He could play corner, better at safety, but I think his natural athletic ability, his natural speed, his ability to catch, he can develop better at a wide receiver position. I don't think he runs into a situation like Jalen Mbakwe. I know a lot of people are like, man, he can play DB and wide receiver. Is it going to be another box situation? No, I think he's coming in as a wide receiver. You put the ball in his hands, he can make plays, and he's very underrated. He's very underrated coming out of Jersey. They don't get a lot of those high-end looks, right? They don't get a lot of respect when it comes to producing quality talent, which is crazy because a lot of your playmakers have been coming from the Northeast. So shout out to Amari Sabb signing to the university, committing to the University of Alabama today, making it official. And it's crazy, y'all. Today was National Signing Day, I believe. And we didn't even do any coverage because we was that busy. Or is it tomorrow? And early signing day has become such a big event. National Signing Day, official National Signing Day is always the first Wednesday in February, if I'm not mistaken. So early signing day has made that kind of dim the energy around National Signing Day. But tomorrow we will be reacting to any signing days. We should be expecting Nolan Whistling to sign tomorrow. The wide receiver, and let me pull up my list, signing day, because guys, you know what? Let me not keep talking because I'm going to put my foot in my mouth, chat. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth. I just pulled up the calendar. Mary J, I got to get the Coach Smook calendar tied up with the Coach Smook Network calendar. So we have a couple national signing day signees that are going to be signing their national letter of intent. Nola Wilson already signed his. Jared Daugherty signed his. They are already signed. Tomorrow though, you will get the signings of Amari. Well, today Amari Sabb got his. Maurice Mathis will be doing his on National Signing Day. And I don't know. I'm trying to make that trip to Moody. in the morning, I don't think the plan is going through as planned. So we'll see. To go see Aubrey Walker, man. I think he's probably the unsung, unspoken, I guess you could say, gem, undercover, under the radar gem in this class, Aubrey Walker. But that's going to be a topic of conversation for coverage tomorrow as we talk. So let's transition to our topics, y'all. I'm staying right here in the studio tonight. We ain't doing that but changing the music maybe a little bit, but I want to talk about this, man. College football. Why is it changing so much? Why is it changing so much? Why are we experiencing these different roster moves or these different rules and regulations year in and year out? Well, let's just acknowledge this as a fans of the game of college football. Let's just acknowledge that the simple fact that this is long overdue. When universities were being punished and sanctioned and getting scholarships taken away because they were paying players, right? There are so many stories about, and I came through college in 2008. I graduated high school in 2008. So I came through right as social media was becoming a thing, like the technology era was really taking its hold. But just imagine how much stuff was able to be held under wraps because of the lack of, or the amount of time it took for information to travel and for people to actually see it. Like hearsay was one thing, but to see something is another. And that's what we have nowadays. That's what we have in our society, especially in the sports entertainment industry, especially in college football. You think about how much revenue collegiate athletics brings in, not just what's up, Big Rod, not just with just, the sports in itself, but think about the amount of money that's made for TV stations and broadcast networks that film Alabama, just are able to premiere Alabama games, right? You got so many outlets. The way that we look for the games every weekend, there are like 20 different service providers. 4 of them are mainstreamed, and the other 16 are $1 million, contracts that are no names that you can go to and watch the game for, that Alabama makes money for, and they have to pay a percentage. So the money part of this, if we didn't have the players, it would be no attraction. Just imagine coaches out there drawing up plays in booths with crowds or stands full of people, thousands of people, just calling out plays with nobody to actually act out the plays and be like, hypothetically, this would beat you. Like that's to me, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think that'll be fun for anybody. I don't think that'll be fun for entertaining for anybody. So the players are deserving. Now, like everything in life, too much of anything is not good for you, right? Too much of anything is not good for you. I say this even with positive things. Too much love and not enough stern, and I ain't saying hate, but some resistance, opposite of love. If you don't ever experience emotions outside of love, right, you can set yourself up for failure. So being able to handle adverse situations outside of love help you to build personality, feelings, all of that stuff. In collegiate athletics, I think where we missed it at during making this transition into the NIL era, one, I told y'all we waited way too long. It's long overdue. But what I think has happened is that when we open it up, we wanted to accept just that simple fact. Players are getting paid, that we had no real trajectory or boundaries set in place to make them still respect and honor the game of football or the process of creating value for themselves. So in that, you have guys who were born, their parents did the do at the right time, and they were born in the right time and to be in this phase. And some of those guys were 21 and 22 years old when these decisions started being made. Some of these guys were 21-year-old medical red shirt players that were on rosters where they probably were their third or fourth guy. And they were seeing a mass exodus of players in front of them that kind of put them in the veteran spot to have the go ahead. And a lot of the population of collegiate football players, that's what they experienced in 2022, 2021. So as NIL became a thing and the transfer portal was an immediate, like, okay, access, anybody want to transfer, jump in it. Because y'all remember that the transfer portal exodus was crazy. That first year was, and that wasn't even the worst. It wasn't even the worst. So I look at it and I say, we're in a space where you're giving guys what they deserve. It's kind of like oppression. say what you want. It's Black History Month. Shout out to all of our African American leaders and impact people in the country that have affected the society and the advancement of equality in this nation. We're going to be doing our little shout outs every live, morning show. We're going to give a segment to honor inspirational, impactful Black athletes in our culture and our history. So, but even in that space of having to embrace change, right? We saw Alabama kind of be behind the power curve in civil rights and what they call it, integration, right? Getting rid of segregation, integrating the university as a whole. I think right now what we're experiencing as college football fans is that what we are seeing overseas for soccer, baseball, basketball, amateur professionals being able to be in professional systems and be employees and be held to educational demands and all of that stuff. That's why you see like players like Luka Doncic and Jokic and all those guys come to the NBA and have such great success because they've been professional since they was 14, 15. Imagine if Ryan Williams had a path that he proved himself worthy enough to be a part of, to where it's like, instead of trying to go to school for college and classroom work, we're getting his prep classes right now from age 14. He's at a prep program. Now you can go, now we have a system set up at the NCAA level where your education as a student athlete is not the primary driving force. You get to go and learn how to become a self-sustaining professional athlete. What are you doing in school to supplement that? Not what are you doing outside of what are you doing outside of schoolwork to supplement football or whatever. You should be doing schoolwork outside of football if you're going to be a professional athlete. Is that's your aspirations? So that's what I feel like the college football landscape is being forced to kind of set up a structure for. We talked about this over the past 2 years, chat. I continue to say we will not see this collegiate football as it is. It will not be sustainable if we don't put parameters around what's happening with NIL. And so fortunately, I've been privy to conversations, not just with parents and players, but actual staff members from different universities on multiple levels that have to, handle NIL, divvying out NIL, a lot in getting the numbers together, putting things together and making sure everybody gets what they quote unquote deserve. And so when you come into it from that space, college football has to change. You have to have collective bargaining. You have to have performance agreements, all of these things in place where you're involving so many hands. And I think because you don't want to give full power to the universities, right? You don't want to give the universities power to go out because they already doing it at a certain level. You have their sponsorships, Chick-fil-A is like a vendor at the stadium or, whatever restaurant. You got people that are vendors, independent contracting vendors. I'm sorry, I almost knocked the doggone table over. But in these spaces, you gotta find a way. At the end of the day, ultimately, the players should benefit, not to the point where it pulls them away from their actual doing their job, which is being the best performer on the field, entertaining, doing your job, doing your assignment, all of that. But it has to be in a structural way to where the value of everything and all of its assets, they work for each other. And college football has a long way to go to get to that, right? You're starting with the commissioners, then you're talking about the athletic directors. You got to make sure that conference commissioners, they kind of see eye to eye. And a lot of them, they're already dealing with ego things, having to represent so many personalities from their conferences and being able to speak up on the side of right, but also stand up for the guys that you represent, the programs and the universities that you represent. Because at one level, it looks like you're just talking about these coaches, but you're talking about universities, you're talking about young men and their families and their parents and their, some of them have children coming into college. And then you're talking about a fan base. There's a lot going into this change in college football. So as fans, I get it. I get it sometimes when y'all be tripping about some of the moves you see happening at Alabama. But when you slow down and think about it, you can really put this in perspective and say, okay, we got about another 2 or 3 years before we see this settled. And when we're talking about not just college football changing, we kind of shift to the fan perspective of it, of expectations for your team. you can look at the situation that Kalen DeBoer and this staff are in right now, right? And say, okay, boom, 2 years and everything that Coach Smook kind of just laid out in front of me on such a basic level to be a 9-win team, 11-win team, playoff conference champ, conference contender, and playoff push, playoff win in the first 2 years, balancing that plus transfer. I think we're in a good position. So that's kind of like the topic. That's where we're at with college football. The first thing they're going to attack, right? And we got about 4 minutes to break this down. There's been some articles and some news releases on NCAA putting a cap on the age limit. Now, I told y'all there were 400 plus players on rosters that was 27 or older. You had 21 players in collegiate football on rosters that was 29 years old. You're talking about, gentlemen, these aren't kids no more. Like, I can't call a 27, 28-year-old young man nephew. You get what I'm saying? It's not normal. So when you think about just the mentality that's being snatched away from college football, we're not even allowing, because of the populace of athletes being fielded on the field, or, you know, making up your locker rooms, we're not even allowing the structure that you're trying to in place to be really set in stone, because you have literally grown men with mortgages and rent payments and car payments, and, you know, they're in the locker room and they're trying to help groom, or they're supposed to be trying to help groom the younger guys jumping in, but their mission and their focus is just like theirs. They know their timeline is a lot more slimmer than these younger guys, so they're locked in. They're doing their part. They're trying to do the things they know. They understand the hunger. But I think the beauty of collegiate football was watching the 17, 18-year-old to 22 to 23-year-old mature and grow. That was the point. Like, you didn't expect a finished product in college football. You expect to see teams grow and progress because the quarterback was 18 years old or 19 years old, starting as his first start as a redshirt freshman. Or you saw this group of offensive linemen that got recruited together. Now it's their turn as true sophomores or redshirt freshmen. Like, you're not going to be able to see that for a while until they handle the age cutoff. But also with those stipulations, I understand you have like overseas players where their school system allows them, maybe they don't start school till 7 or 8 years old. So a lot of kids, they're kindergarten, they're 8 years old when we're 5. So you get kids that come from overseas, they may be 2 or 3 years ahead of but mentality, development wise, body wise, they're maybe a little bit ahead, but mentality and their knowing of the game is usually on the same. That's why you don't see a lot of those guys come over and just pop off the screen year one. It takes 2 years, 2-3 years for them to get acquainted and get up to speed. So the roster changes in 2025 kind of led us to believe that this was going to start happening when they said they took it to 105 scholarship players per roster. And we had our little conversation and debate about that. But right now, the age limit, there are some factors that determine the eligible age for NCAA athletes. So let me go find the section again. So right now, with everything in place, including red shirt year, all that. Appreciate Zach for the $4.99 super chat. Red shirt year, medical year. Those are the only current circumstances. Appreciate the $4.99. Those are the early current circumstances that do not count against you, right? They do not count against you as far as using up a year eligibility. Medical red shirt and red shirt year. They even adjusted to where you can play in 4 games in the regular season, still medical red shirt or get a red shirt, and then play in postseason games that do not affect your eligibility. So you're having an opportunity to possibly get in. If your team makes a playoff push, you got a chance to play in 8 games in a season, 7 games, and still have an extra year. So they're already giving you a free 5 years. But you got guys that are finding the medical year that's 6, and they're wavering for a 7th year. And some of them are going to JUCO and playing for 2 years. So you've literally been playing college ball for almost 8 years. There's a lot of guys doing that. I don't think that helps. It might help schools get better as far as getting experience, but I don't think it helps for the game of college football. These are players at 25. You should be on an NFL roster or overseas competing for employment, not utilizing education as a cover-up to play and create value for yourself for the next level of the NFL. So the moment that the NCAA hammers down on this, I think we see our change in college football like we need. The age limit, waivers and loopholes, all of that. Once we get that figured out, I think, and they're working on, I promise you, because now the money is being taken out of the decision makers' hands, and they know they don't have much to hold on to going forward. So the more power you give to these organizations, these GMs, these players, the less you're going to have, and they don't want that. And I think in order to keep a solid balance of college football, the way that we know it, what we know it to be in this era, or coming into this era, in order to create that balance, you're going to have a lot of give from the NCAA and a lot less take, and just like sit things in a boundary in the middle of the table and operate out of that parameters, operate out of those parameters, because either side assuming the full power role is not going to be settled at any point. So that's that topic, y'all. All right, y'all, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to give an opportunity to give our sponsors a shout out, man. Thank them for supporting us today. And if you're not a member of the AAA family, I need y'all to take a minute and become a member of the AAA family. When we come back, let me see how many we got in the chat. I was just gauging the chat. We got 18 in the chat. Let's see if we can get up to 25 likes before the end of the stream. But I'm going to attack another topic of conversation, and we're going to break that down. And we'll talk to y'all once we get back. Listen, don't forget to think about becoming a member of the AAA family. If you haven't become a member yet, this is how you do so. Check it out. Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link. It'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
At Walk-On's Sports Bistro, the games are on, the food's delicious, and here you are always part of the team. Welcome to Walk-On Sports Bistro, where every day is game day. Whether it's a post-win celebration, drinks after work, or taking the fam for some made-from-scratch favorites, Walk-On's is your go-to for good times, craft beer and cocktails, and bold flavors for fans of all ages. From melty mozzarella logs to Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online or in the app. Walk-On's Sports Bistro. Game on.
All right, y'all. Let's get back into it. Listen, little recruiting nugget to kind of look forward to. A name emerging as a top target for Alabama in the running back room going into the 2027 signing class is Noah Roberts. I was able to talk with a few people on that I forget the name of the school out there in Chandler, but that interaction between the staff and Roberts is starting to kind of increase, and Alabama was one of the top schools on his list as far as his top 10 offers. 4-star running back out of Chandler, Arizona. Basha High School is the name of it. Now that I'm looking at the profile, Basha High School out of Chandler, class of 2027 running back, 6'1", 190. You look at his film, the top end speed is different. Top end speed, not quick, high acceleration, but top end speed is different. We got comments in the chat. Grown men playing against kids make it unfair because you don't get your grown man straight till 21. That is why we have rules against going to the NFL before junior year, right? And that's the thing, Zach. If we have rules against these kids making the decision to go to the NFL at a certain age, why don't we have a cutoff, like a specific cutoff, regardless of circumstance? Why is there not a specific cutoff age for staying in collegiate athletics? 100%, Zach. Good comment there. Y'all gave it up for Zach for the comment. I said this when it first started. Because I believe a guy like Julio Jones could have been in the NFL at 19 years old. Like Julio could have been in the NFL at 19. Will Anderson at 19 could have been in the NFL. Derrick Henry at 19 could have been in the NFL. I'm just talking about Bama players. Non-Bama players. Jadeveon Clowney at 19, 20 years old could have been at the NFL. Could have been in the NFL. A lot of players have come through in 1 year of college, just like basketball players get to do. 1 year of collegiate ball. They could have been at somebody's in the draft. They probably would have been a first round, early second round pick because of the way things are trajected or projected in as far as development on the football field. And a lot of these guys would still be having successful careers because nothing was going to stop their development. You can't coach some things. Some things are just natural, right? So what's up, MJ? Good to see you in the chat. We got a slow chat tonight, slow live chat. But if you're watching post live, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're always tuned into the Coach Smook Network. Turn on your notifications too. Turn on your notifications so you're not missing any of the live streams and you're not missing opportunities to support the network. So just to kind of a few more nuggets in this class, man, a few more guys that I see being, I know everybody's hype on the wide receiver Munshawn Sales. I think there's going to be a fiasco around his recruiting with Oklahoma coming in and making a lot of big moves and getting some guys on their roster, getting guys committed in this 25 class as far as verbal commits. There's a in-town kid that played with a wide receiver at Central last year that I was kind of watching. He played with Zay Hall last year. Trayvon Hall out at Central in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. This young man, if Alabama hadn't already been on him, I would be concerned about us not being able to identify talent literally up the street. But they've been on him. Even though he's committed to OU, I think there is going to be a strategic push to go and get him to commit to Alabama and come in that 27 class. I think there'll be a solid duo of receivers that they target in this class. The big name, of course, is Munshawn. He's a guy that if you get him, you're kind of content with just having the 5-star. But Kayshawn Bowman is another name. Two of the top receivers in that class. Jaden Upshaw is leaning towards Alabama already. Jaden is probably the one that I think is the quiet commit. With the amount of hype that's around him, I think he's the quiet commit that just stays committed. There's not going to be a lot of news or a lot of hype around his recruitment. I think he's going to commit to Bama or whoever he commits to. I think Florida State's in that mix. But you look at him, and you look at the way that the story, the narrative around him is. If Bama gets that commit, that's what he's going to stay with. So looking at Jaden Upshaw, a lot of names in that wide receiver room with so many eligible juniors and upcoming seniors. Just like we saw the exodus this year, when guys feel like they're on their last leg, that junior year, that redshirt sophomore year, they want to make that third year impact to be able to get a decisive forward progression for their future, for their career. So a lot of things sitting there. Just a few more recruiting buzz. Judah Lancaster, the tight end out of IMG. Going to continue to hear some big names big things out of him with this tight end room and the depth that's in it right now, the amount of young talent. Alabama has the space to go and get underrated guys, keep them in the, and we have to talk this now. You get to go and get underrated guys, and you get to sign them and develop them and give them their NIL based off of their current value, right? A lot of these guys underrated, 3-star underrated. You get to capitalize on that and give them opportunities to develop. And then as they develop and they get better and they become more of an asset or a needs to asset or usable asset, right? Get to take advantage of that and see these guys. And then another one, Michael Mbwefe. I told y'all we talked about him the first opening weekend about recruiting. These are names that I put together based off of multiple sources, Bama 247 conversations that we've had from the Coach Smook Network. We don't use Rivals. We don't use Rivals much, but we do kind of go and confirm because Rivals, they pad a lot of these guys' evaluations, which is why we are working so hard to create a network of scouting and recruiting that gives legit evaluations, not just because you showed up to a camp, you paid $300-$400 to show up to the camp and be in front of all the big name journalists, and that's how you get your star rating. All we evaluated film. A 3-star safety that I'm excited about, that I found out that Alabama is really hot on his trail about. They were actually in Florida recently. He's committed to North Carolina right now. He's committed to North Carolina, but he's not the bigger frame DB, but he's the Coach Mo, Dijon Lee, Xavier Brown. I guess you could say prototypical DB that Bama would go out and get. He's committed to North Carolina. Charles Roberts out of Bradenton, Florida, and I'm very familiar with Bradenton, Florida, but he's another IMG prospect. As Alabama has made their rounds to IMG, they're starting to pick out a few more players. They're starting to pop out in as far as development, and they're catching the attention of these guys. So IMG probably going to be like we might get 4 or 5 guys from this 27 class at IMG. You know, with our long extensive connection with IMG, those kids are kind of told or kind of, I ain't gonna say groomed, but they're kind of pushed in the direction of Alabama because of as much success as that relationship has been. So a lot of these guys are that have Bama in their top 5, top 6, and these are guys that the staff is gaining interest from. I think it's one of those things where when we start to see fans complain about where the current state of Alabama is compared to where Coach Saban left it, we are in a much better state, and I'm truly going to stand by that. So the rest of this offseason, the recruiting coverage, we'll be doing more extensive coverage, but those are a few names that I want y'all to be aware of before we get into our last topic of the night. And we got about 10 minutes left on the show, y'all. I'm trying to be on top of this thing and continue to share the inside scoop of what we get, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. Let me check in on TikTok, man. Haven't seen no comments on TikTok. What's up, Britt? Appreciate the gifts over there, the 10 roses for my sister. Shout out to Big Homie tapping in, Recover Polly tapping in, everybody tapping that screen. Continue to tap the screen over there. What's good, JRM, my YC, my boy over there turning up, tapping that screen. Appreciate y'all. Listen, I know y'all been wondering where the gaming content is. I thought the offseason was going to be able to pick up, but we've had meetings all day today, so I don't know when the next time we'll be playing a video game. We supposed to be moving over the next 2 to 3 days, moving to our new spot, our temporary spot before we move into our new spot at the end of February. So the streams are going to be a little bit different. The interactions are going to be a little bit different, but we're going to keep the content coming. What's good, Deron? Good to see you, my brother. Tapping into the screen. Can't wait to see what this defense operate. Can't wait to see this defense operate at their full potential. Long and rangy. If you think about every position across the front right now, and Tim Keenan did a great job, you know, once he finally got acquainted to being able to shoot gaps, right? But you look at every spot, even the linebackers that were recruited, 6'1", 6'2", with 6'4" wingspans, long rangy guys. 6'4" inside linebackers, 6'3" inside linebackers. You look at it, linemen, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5", 6'5 and a half, 6'6", 6'5", 6'4", 310, 280. 245 for the Wolf position, 6'3", 245, 6'4 and a half, 250. 245. Got Evan Tompkins coming from USC, 6'5 and a half, 280. Keldrick Jones, freaking 6'6", I think, 6'6", 6'7", 285. Like all of these big bodies with length, right? This is kind of like what Alabama did back in the early Saban area. They got guys when you got off the bus, you knew they was ready. Looked at them and you knew they was ready. So I think Alabama's doing the right thing. Final topic of conversation before we get ready to get up out of here, chat. And I kind of just want to bring this to y'all from a perspective side of things, right? I want y'all to think about this. Alabama's going to be all right. People, you're just in adjustment period. Facts. And this is literally the topic of conversation. When I speak, and mind you, y'all seen the video, when I talk with Coach, or not Coach Morgan, but when I talk with General Manager Courtney Morgan at the Senior Bowl, when I talk with Assistant Director of Player Personnel at the Pro Bowl, I talk with the head coach at Texas Southern, I talk with the GM from South Alabama and their Director of Player Personnel. One narrative that was I guess you could say a common denominator, a common topic of conversation, was the importance of the GM's role, right? The importance of the GM. How much movement happens within that staff, that part of the staff in itself will tell you the mentality of your team. You can look at each school's GM and just about tell the personality and the direction of that team or the character of that locker room based off of that GM. And so I say that because if you look at Indiana's GM, and I forget his name, but personality-wise, him and Kurt Signetti, they have such like contrasted personalities that you see why players we're able to transition there. And him being so open and accepting to the head coach's philosophy of the type of players he needs to build, that's the specialty that he has. Go out and get these guys, create value, see the value in creating this pitch for this player to fit this system, because this is the type of player the coach wants. And when I look at what Courtney Morgan is doing with Kalen DeBoer, it's not no different than what he did at Michigan. He went out and started getting guys that fit the style of player that Harbaugh wanted. And now, because there's a different variable that you have to include, transfer portal. Back then, it was just strictly recruiting. There was no transfer portal. If you transferred, you withdrew from a school and you transferred to a school and you lost a year, you had to sit out a year, you had to do a waiver, and that was just a whole headache. You didn't get to practice or nothing. You were basically going to school on probation. But now, because of these nuances, you have to be able to look past a name that's popping off the screen. So the importance of the GM is while the coach is game planning week in and week out during the season, that's why you see the activity in recruiting. That's why you see a coach may not necessarily be watching a high school recruit's film every week. He's being told, hey, this is a guy that I have on our radar from Courtney Morgan and his staff. This is a guy, a DB, I think, will fit your system. You say this is what you require: height, weight, size, tangibles, this, that, and the third. We need to check 7 out of 10 boxes in order for you to look at them and feel like they're good enough. He checks 8 and almost 9, 8.5 boxes, or he checks 6 boxes, but the 4 boxes that he doesn't check, I think you can develop him. That's what we're seeing with Courtney Morgan. You have those small intricacies that you have to consider between, 30,000 prospects year in and year out. And then between that, the GM and his staff, they have to decide which ones are worthy of an actual in-person conversation. Which ones can we use our funding to kind of court and show them what we have available? Now, a lot of people think that every recruit that visits Alabama is paid to come to Alabama, or no, a lot of these kids, when they're getting on the scene, when they're going to these camps, they're paying to go to the camp. They're paying for their own stay. They're basically paying for the experience to hopefully get recognized. And it's your GM to see that part of the process and see value in that. Who took the sacrifice? Who made the initial sacrifice to even get here and get me to look at them? They may not be popping off the screen right now, but if they have potential, I got to be able to find it. So that's what the importance of the GM is. And, you know, I there were some comments exchanged in me and Morgan's conversation in regards to, you know, our evaluation of certain players that were on roster and then some that have left in the past 2 years while he's been there. And I mean, some players I literally forgot about because they didn't pop off the screen, but he talked about, you know, if they would have stayed, I feel like we could have developed. And these are things that GMs have to consider. Like, how much energy do I give to a player that feels like their opportunity is better elsewhere? But I know that if they stayed one more year, the 7 or 8 games that they would go off and go crazy with, kind of like Bray Hubbard did. Bray could have hit the portal before last season started because he was showcasing so much stuff in the 8 games that he started. He could have hit the portal and found value elsewhere, been somebody else's starter, been the for sure starter with the most money at that position. But would his development continue at the rate that it did? No. I think about guys like Earl Little, another DB that was at Alabama and had a high upside when Coach Saban was retiring. When he entered the portal before giving Coach Womack and that staff an opportunity, right, to really get him an opportunity on the field, I think he messed up. And that year he went to Florida State, didn't do anything. Last year, had a decent game against us, still gave up some yards. You don't see his name. He's not one of the top DBs in his class, in his graduating class anymore. So looking at all these factors, the GM has to have awareness of all these things. That's why it's important to have a staff. And surrounding these things, the value of the GM is continuing to grow. You're going to have GMs starting to garner salaries because the coach does one facet of it. He does coach the game, but what's being given to the coach to put on the field, to field that team and to call those plays, it's a direct effect of what the GM is doing. So the topic of conversation and a poll that I want to put in the chat for those watching post live, or if you're in the comments right now live, on the scale of 1 to 10, right? 1 being not so good, 10 being great, perfect. Where do you rate Alabama's GM, Courtney Morgan? Where do you rate his current success or lack of success? Where is his ratings? Where is his approval ratings when it comes to your opinion of his job and with all the things, with the few things that we outlined that are the job and the responsibility of the GM? Where do you rate Courtney Morgan here on the Coach Smook Network? Y'all, that's going to do it for our topic of conversations tonight. I appreciate y'all for tapping in tonight. Let's do this outro, and then we're going to do a few announcements about the rest of the week's schedule, and then we're going to get out of here. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, y'all. And yeah, we'll be right back after these messages. Check it out. All right, family. That's going to do it for today's show here on the Coach Smook Network. Once again, I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality. And I truly appreciate every one of you for rocking with us today. Before you head out, make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who needs to be a part of this conversation. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you stay locked in with everything we've got coming your way. We're trying to reach some goals here. And if you believe in what we're building here, I encourage you to take that next step and become a member of the AAA family. Remember, our mantra is authenticity above all. This community is built on real conversations and real insight and real information surrounding sports entertainment. Your membership directly supports the growth of the Coach Smook Network, and every hard-earned dollar contributed is not only appreciated, it's paid for through our monthly contributions to community health and awareness organizations. So you're not just supporting the YouTube channel, you're supporting a cause. Also, don't forget to check out the Coach Smook merch. We've got hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. It's a great way to show love and support for the network and rep the brand wherever you go. You can find the merch link in our main YouTube page and in the description. Put me in the game, coach. And if you want to stay connected and get more involved with the community, be sure to join the Discord. Just type the command in the live chat or head over to our main YouTube page and click the Linktree link in the description. You can also stay connected with us directly for collaborations, appearances, community service opportunities, and business inquiries by emailing us at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com. our staff will respond in a timely manner. And for those who want to show additional love, you can always donate directly to the Coach Smook Network through Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Every bit of support helps us continue to grow and elevate this platform. We also want to send a huge thank you to our sponsors and partners: Walk On Sports Bistro, Sports Info Solutions, Helping Hands LLC, Men of Standard Executive Security, Goomba Bully Killnos, and most of all, the AAA Phantom. None of this is possible without you. Once again, thank you for all your support, the energy, and the authenticity you bring to the space. Until next time, family, stay safe, stay locked in, and when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, "Put me in the game, Coach Smook." Catch you on the next one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for supporting your boy, man. Quick announcements before we get out of here tonight. Tomorrow, no live content tomorrow. We plan to have some edited content, some live content. I might do a few recordings tonight. Check out the other channels. Coach Smook Reacts, Coach Smook Gaming. Content will be uploaded over there. If you're not a member of the AAA family, be ready. Recruiting news is heating up, and I'm getting on top of things. I'm getting pulled back into that realm, and I'm getting back in that mode. So I think I want to say by the 17th, I got an event in Nashville, Tennessee, next weekend. So I'll be up there handling a few things there, putting down some business up there. Yeah, y'all, we got some big moves happening next weekend. I'm nervous. Y'all can tell I'm nervous. It's about to be a big changing point in my life. So big things happening. So y'all pray that we continue to grow and utilize our spaces and our opportunities to continue to build this brand and continue to build this community. So after the weekend of the 14th, that following week, y'all want to see crazy amount of recruiting coverage. We plan on being on the road a lot this year. We got a couple flights to make y'all see. We got recruits committing to Alabama, out in California, Arizona, Florida, everywhere. We're going to be everywhere. So continue to pray. Continue to like, share, and subscribe. Continue to share the content with people that, you know, are Bama fans or just want to be in some good college football conversations here on the Coach Smook Network. Our next call-in show will be Friday morning, 8 a.m. Friday morning, 8 a.m. We will have some Thursday content. Be ready for multiple lives on Thursday. Friday morning, 8 a.m. will be our next call-in show, and then we'll do our late night call-in show this Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Topic of conversations, we're going to discuss all the position battles for all of the SEC teams this offseason. We're going to talk about quarterback position battles for every team this year. Friday night going to be fun. So we're going to be bringing some extra personalities on, some co-hosts and things of that nature, collabs. We're going to be talking some real position battles for each team. Appreciate y'all for tapping in tonight. Thank you for the 20 likes on the stream. Thank you for showing up and supporting. We didn't hit 25, but usually live longer. If you haven't liked the stream already, make sure you like it. And remember, y'all, remember, it's only one thing I ask you to do. It's only one thing I ask you to do. I don't have to get a picture from you. You ain't got to yell. You ain't got to ask for an autograph. But when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say,
Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
yeah, man, I appreciate y'all, man, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Don't forget, I will see y'all Thursday morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock a.m. We'll be having another topic live. Y'all catch me on the next one. Roll Tide. I love y'all, AAA family, and much love. Y'all be blessed on this evening.
It's in my bones, crimson in my veins, talking Bama in the microphone. Look me up on YouTube, true cut straight from the stone. Ain't no selling their retails, I'm exposing what they want. Alabama football, yeah, I live it, yeah, I bleed it from the streets to the bleachers, every angle, yeah, I see it, film, study, so militant. I ain't guessing a thing, break it down. Now it's like I'm coaching the team. Authenticity above all, that's where I stand. If you ain't a real fan, you're a fair weather fan. They tried to box me in, and I keep the dough off the frame. Turn the pressure into power, put my stamp on the game. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, Coach Smook, that's what they saying. Put me in the game, coach, in the game. Put me in the game, Coach Smook, that's what they saying.
Players and the staff are pulling up right now for today's scrimmage. Coach David Ballou in the front. Y'all can see everybody pulling up, man. Them boys over there, look at Deontay.
Hey, I'm walking out of Walmart. Check what's your name, bro?
Man, my name Michael McKinney, man. I'm a true Alabama fan, and this man does a good job on his podcast,
What's up, bro?
reviewing Alabama football. Keep doing what you're doing.